I'm from Belgium, and we have three official languages: the Dutch, French, and German. And the language communities are divided on the map, and but people speak language mostly according to territory. But on the boundaries, the boundary is somewhat artificial, because in these villages people speak languages through each other, French and Dutch, and there used to be language counters who went yearly from village to village on the boundary to ask people what language they mainly used, and so every year the language frontier changed, and but now there's a different system. The border is fixed, and I grew up in one of the cities on the boundary where you have, which is part of the Dutch-speaking community, but where you have facilities for French speakers. So that's different than in the whole of Belgium. And we had to learn French in school from the age of 8, but you learn language just from acting in daily life and participating in social gatherings and everything. People in these kind of cities, or in the city where I grew up, everybody knows two languages, and you go to a shop and you adapt constantly to the moment. And with some people I don't even have ever a one language conversation. So people do the same things. There's no cultural difference that relates to language. You go to the same places and meet all different people in all different places, but there's no separation for people with different languages. On the streets, people speak all languages to each other, and I went to a Dutch speaking school, but there is also access to French speaking schools. But in my school there were many children who were native French speakers, but their parents let them go to these schools because they think it's an advantage for their children to learn language from so young. But in the French schools and in the Dutch schools, people have to learn language also from very young age, and that's in the whole part of Belgium. My French-speaking peers in my Flemish primary school, they were told not to speak French on the playground by the teachers. So I remember we spoke French anyway. We spoke both, and it came really naturally. But I think that people don't learn language that much from learning from books in school. So whereas in my town I know all people can speak both languages, and maybe not so good, but they speak all these languages to each other in daily life, and it's not the same in the whole of Belgium, I think. I can see no cultural difference between people that relates to language. So people go to the same places and do the same things. So I don't have to meet with French speakers and Dutch speakers on a different time. And I think you would have to try really hard if you don't want to automatically learn the other language.